Wayne, back at you. I decided to make this video about the importance of having a medical proxy or directive, also having a power of attorney medically, or somebody that you very much trust to deal with hospitals in your time of need when you're in a hospital, or to be the medical proxy or power of attorney for somebody, or just your loved one. In the state of Florida here, automatically the husband is the medical power of attorney. You still have to go to the hospital administrator and social worker, and you have to file the form with them, which gives medical directives and assigns you as the person that's their advocate. A lot of hospitals have an advocate also built into them, so that you can go and get them to take care of your case. It's very good to get the advocate. Most hospitals have an office there, which the medical advocate, so you keep somebody more involved in your case. Don't trust hospitals to take care of your loved ones. You need to be involved. A simple thing as a shift change can throw off their treatment dramatically and be adverse to their life. I've had situations now with my wife having to deal with her cancer and everything else where they'll drop the ball on medications, they'll drop the ball on procedures, on simple things as MRIs and scans that needed to be done that were life issues. These were things that were there to protect her life. But, miscommunications happen, things like that. They don't relay information always. Sometimes the nurse may be looking over her dosages of medications and miss things. I didn't give her the medication I was supposed to get at 10 o'clock tonight, so she misses a dose, and things like that can happen. So you need to be involved with your loved one, and you really need to work hard. You need to be there every day. You need to be involved. If you got to take time off work, whatever you got to do, because you will lose your loved one if you don't. Hospitals are a great thing, but they are human. People make mistakes. One big important thing is getting a hold of the hospital administrators. Make sure the minute your loved one goes in the ER or wherever they go, that you find out where the administration office is and who the administrators are and a phone number to them. You can leave voicemails, things like this. After hours, Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock, they're usually gone. So after hours, the only way to get a hold of the administrators is to get a hold of a nursing administrator, which kind of runs the hospital in their stead while they're gone. This is critical. When you have problems with things and your loved one is not getting the care they need, you need to get a hold of the administrators. The administrators have a legal and ethical liability, as much as a doctor can, but they are the ones responsible for the legal aspect of the hospital. So once you get a hold of them and you state a problem or a directive or anything, they have to react. If they do not, they are liable, and the hospital is liable. And they don't want that. So most of the staff at the hospital is actually designed to be a buffer and keep you away from them. I mean, you can ask, where's the administrative staff? Why do you need that? What's the reason? Oh, you got to talk to us first. You got to go through. No, don't let them play those games. You can walk around the hospital and just simply go up to a janitor and ask where the administration office is. Or just walk the whole damn hospital till you find the administrative office. Usually it'll be on the first floor, not far from the lobby, most hospitals. But it's very important that you find these numbers out and get a hold of them. If they have a care advocate service there, you need to. Some states like Nevada, things like that, I know have a care advocate assigned to every patient when they walk in the minute they do. You also need to immediately go to the social worker at the hospital and make sure that they assign you as proxy or medical directive for that patient. If you're a husband in most states, or a wife, you're automatically the medical power of attorney of your spouse. If you're a parent, you're usually the medical attorney, power of attorney of that child. But you also, there's a form you need to fill out at the hospital to make them aware of who the medical power of attorney is, even if you have legal right to it. So you have to ask them for those forms. Some of them will try to block you from them. You got to find out who the social worker of the hospital is and get them, or the administrator. And they have to give you those forms, and you have to fill them out right away and then turn them in. And then you will have access to what's going on, because if there's nobody there making them held accountable to what they're doing, making sure that they're giving the drugs they're supposed to, the dosages, making sure the procedures are being done, the scans, they'll drop the ball a lot. My wife went into the ER in an emergency recently, life or death situation. All of her doctors, neurology, oncology, everybody was waiting on an MRI. My wife has an allergic reaction to contrast, so they had to pre-medicate her. They pre-medicated her multiple times over a 3-day period, saying, oh, we're going to do the scan, then, oh, no, we couldn't, they canceled, oh, we're going to do it tomorrow, we're going to do it this, we're going to do it that. After 3 days, I had to go and actually grab a lab coat that I found hanging on the back of a chair in an empty office, throw it on, walk up to a nurse's station on another floor, and claim I am an outside doctor that was in for the day and I need to get a hold of the administrator, and manage to get the actual corporate administrator's number. Really hard to do, but sometimes you have to do things like that. It's life or death. And when I did that, they had to put my wife under anesthesia for this MRI. She was incapable of holding still. I found out later the whole reason, once the anesthesiologist finally found out about my wife's case, they thought she was claustrophobic or something like that, and that this MRI wasn't serious. The doctors weren't relating the information to them correctly to where they would understand that this was a life or death thing, and that they were all waiting to proceed on her care with that diagnosis, with the MRI, to be able to disprove and prove what is going on, and finally got it done. They were very apologetic, of course, but you know what? If I hadn't done it, she would have sat there for another week in that hospital, never getting the MRI, and eventually would have died. She had swelling on her brain and a lot of other things going on. So this is so important that you all understand this. I'm kind of running out of time here. Very important that you pick somebody that you trust with your life and assign them as your medical directive. If it's not your spouse or your parent, assign somebody who you trust and actually get a medical directive signed and actually have it ready for that person so that they can take over your care. This could save your life or your loved one. I hope this helps.